Debby Deluca. Welcome to my home studio. You had some questions you wanted me to answer, so I'll try to get them done for you as quickly as I can. I hope they're interesting. What was my first radio gig? My first radio gig technically was when I was in college, the College of Staten Island. I joined the radio station there, WSIA. I joined as a jock, but nobody was really interested in doing production because everybody wanted to be a cool, famous jock. So I decided to do the production there, and I found it fun and exciting. So that was my first radio gig. Technically, my first paying radio gig was Hot 97. After I completed my internship, they hired me as an assistant, a production assistant. So that was technically my first paying radio gig. Okay, what was the wackiest experience in the production room? Wow, the wackiest experience in the production room. There were a few. I guess, you know, when you meet celebrities, it's a cool thing. We got a phone call once from Madonna, and I accidentally hung up on her. I thought my radio career was over. But it was one of those pop-up phones where you put the person on hold, and I accidentally hit it, and the button popped up, and her publicist called back, and she wasn't very happy. Another story that comes to mind really quick was at KTU, NSYNC came to the radio station, as most acts do that want you to play their record on the radio. And they came with lunch, and they sat in the corner of the conference room singing a cappella songs of the Bee Gees. They sent them back with me because nobody knew who they were. Their song wasn't really being played on the radio. I had them do drops, and Justin Timberlake, actually this little kid was making fun of my way cool New York accent. And I thought to myself, you're a funny guy, I hope you make it really big. And he became Justin Timberlake, so there you go. Still a funny guy. What is my favorite DAW? My favorite DAW is Pro Tools. I'm up to 12.6 right now. It runs flawlessly with Sierra. I even like the geeky things that Sierra does with Pro Tools, like, hey Siri, open my last session, and it does. Or, hey Siri, take some notes, and it'll take notes. I know that has nothing to do with the DAW, but I think it's really cool. But yes, Pro Tools 12.6 runs flawlessly with Sierra. It's awesome. And new Mac, MacBook Pro 13-inch. So everything works smoothly on there. I'm very happy with it. Favorite DAW. If you could produce with one EQ, one compressor, one reverb, and one effects to do everything, what would it be? Right now I'm rocking the Waves Diamond Bundle. From back in the day, the Renaissance EQs were have been there from the beginning with Waves. If I can use one reverb, true verb, but those are your basic ones. So I mean, if I couldn't have any other ones, those are the ones I'd stay with. The Renaissance compressors and EQs. As for effects, right now I just bought the Sound Toys bundle, which is awesome. I use Echo Boy and Echo Boy Jr. There's tons of different plugins in there, and you can manipulate them all different ways so that you can make tons more. Well worth the money, great package, not just Echo Boy and Echo Boy Jr., but the whole bundle is awesome. I highly recommend those. I hope they send me like a t-shirt or something, that'd be awesome. Okay, let's see. Did you ever use tape, and if so, what tricks? Did you ever use tricks from them now? Yes, I'm old school. I use tape. I use 4-track. I spliced. I have scars to prove it. But yes, we had Studers in both Hot 97 and KTU. One of the things that I still occasionally today use that I used to do back in the day is taking a phrase, flipping it backwards, adding a ton of EQ on it, recording it that way, and flipping it back so that the EQ is in the front, and then the rest of the phrase comes. So that I do with Pro Tools, which takes about a tenth of what it used to take on tape. That used to at least take you a half hour to get that right on tape. So that's one of the things that I remember from using with tape. Way easier today. What has been your coolest experience at Sirius XM? My coolest experience at Sirius XM that I don't think happens at other radio stations is because other radio stations have one production person or one creative service director per radio station. Sirius XM has the awesome opportunity for other producers to learn from each other because there's a bunch of us there. I think there's 8 or 9 of us now in New York, and there's also more of us down in DC, and we float ideas past each other every now and then. But when I used to work at night, we used to all go to dinner together and just joke and have a good time and float different types of bundles and plugins off each other, and even half our jokes, 80% of the jokes that we said at dinner became production pieces the next day on different channels. I think that was a great opportunity when creative minds come together like that. It's funny, but out of the funniness comes great creative work, and that to me is a very valuable tool that I've gotten from Sirius XM. Has there ever been a production project that just stumped you to the point of throwing your hands in the air or maybe just wanting to kill someone? I never want to kill someone. It gets frustrating sometimes when you have a client or a program director and they have a story that they're trying to portray through a script. You're trying to paint their picture of their story with what you do with production. And you've created a Mona Lisa, and we say that, they drew a mustache on my Mona Lisa because they'll want you to put in something that doesn't necessarily flow with your creativity. But in the end, it's your job to please the client. So even though you might have come up with the best creative piece possible for that scenario, they might get an extra piece of copy that comes in, or an extra detail that wasn't there before, and now you have to make it fit and flow when it was perfect before, and now you have to rearrange your creativity for a piece of information that's necessary to go in there. One thing I remember in particular was I had a program director who we were doing a cash giveaway, and he loved cha-chings. He wanted lots of cha-chings in the promo, and I had them in there, but he wanted so many over-the-top cha-chings, and I kept thinking to myself, this is going to play on the radio, and people are going to think I've lost my mind. People who knew that I did this job, they were going to think that I lost my mind from putting lots of cha-chings all through the promo. But he wanted it, and in the end, he liked it, so that's what you got to do. Love talking about gear. Is there a dream piece of gear that you would want for your studio? Price, no object. Honestly, I think that I have everything that I need. I like staying up to date on tech. I like to stay up to date on the latest plugins that I need. The latest versions of Pro Tools. I kind of let them go for a little while so that they can fix the bugs, and then I'll take it. But like I said, I'm up to 12.6 on Pro Tools, and I like having a very minimalist studio, and actually I'd like to give away some of this gear, so if anybody needs an old DAT machine or perhaps a CD burner, call me. But yeah, I think the less is more now, if that makes any sense. I never dreamed that when I started out in production that I could have a studio at home without spending thousands of dollars, and number two, be able to take my equipment and create like a whole a 3-hour show. I've created a 3-hour show on an airplane once, because you have everything that you need. All you need is a hard drive, a great hard drive, MacBook Pro, you know, your favorite DAW, or if you don't like a MacBook Pro, I get that too. I could use a new pair of headphones though, a nicer pair of headphones. That might be my next big purchase. But that's it. I think for me, it's a minimalist thing. I like more software and plugins more than outboard gear, really. What advice would I give to young producers striving to make it? Okay, I always tease them all the time when they ask me, you know, can I have advice? I want to be a producer, a music producer or a radio producer. And I always tell them, go be a doctor or a lawyer. I say that because they need to have a backup plan. It doesn't need to be a doctor or a lawyer, but they need to broaden their horizons. Maybe look at maybe sound effects in movies, or you know, be a Foley operator, work on TV, or just have a broader idea of what they want to be, just not radio production. Because unfortunately right now, radio production jobs are becoming less and less. Because you remember back in the day there was one creative service person or one producer per radio station, and now that same job, you know, one producer is handling 5 radio stations, or at Sirius 5 channels. So I tell them to make sure they have a backup plan for that. Other than that, I tell them that listen to the people who have been there before. Don't act like you know it all, even though now anybody with GarageBand thinks that they can make a promo or a sweeper, and maybe they can, and maybe they have great ideas, but just watch and learn from the people who've been there and done it before. Also, but on the flip side, don't give up your creativity. There's a lot of people that were in production before, older generation people, who would mock like EDM, for instance, saying that, you know, it's horrible music, or, you know, people that listen to old school rock don't necessarily listen to EDM, and it's a $1 billion industry, so you need those kids to listen to that music and be the next producers in that genre of music, and don't compromise that creativity. Don't listen to the disgruntled old people. Learn from them what you can, and then mix it in with your own creativity, and, you know, be good to go. And then spread your resume everywhere and anywhere, and drop it from an airplane, and do anything that you can. I hope that's what you needed. Give me a call if there's anything else I could do for you, and I'm gonna get back to work. See you later, Ben. Bye.
We are.